What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and I cannot wait to share this video with you all. So I have had this day circled on my calendar ever since I started this channel. And that is because I have been looking at this data from a sports card perspective forever. And I think it is incredibly important for us to look at from a TCG perspective. I think it is incredibly insightful when it comes to the overall trends in the market and like what things are going on from a macro level. And I don't see anybody talking about it. This is us playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. I can't wait to get into this video. Also, hey guys, you know I'm building this channel. I'm excited to have you guys on board. If you've been watching this and if you're on the fence, we do a lot of really cool data dives. We do a lot of really cool set breakdowns. Like if you would love to become a part of this channel, we'd love to have you. So hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, drop a comment down below. I try to respond to all of them personally. We're just having a ton of fun while we build this thing out. So we'd love to have you along for the ride. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my #1 trick for getting more PSA 10s. It is proven by data. You can't argue it. It doesn't cost you anything. It is silly not to do it. So I'm going to share it with you at the very end. I'm doing it at the very end because all of this data is important. I'm going to make sure you get through all of this before we get to that. All right, without further ado, let's talk about December grading information because it is crazy important. Here's what I'm going to share with you right now. These are the 4 major grading companies, okay? And these are all of the cards that they've graded throughout the entire year of 2022. Look at this. One of these things is not like the other. When you hear me talk about PSA, in this video we're going to focus on PSA, like there is a reason behind that. It's not because I'm a PSA homer, it's not because my football card collection is in PSAs and all of my Pokemon collection is in PSAs. It's because there is only one clear leader in all of grading, in all of cardboard collecting, and for now, that is PSA. There is no second place, there is no consolation prize. Everybody else is so far down. Look at PSA. PSA is up and to the right over the last 12 months. Yes, there's peaks and valleys, just like with everything else. It's never going to be a smooth line. But at the end of the day, PSA is up and to the right. Look at everybody else down there. You almost can't decipher what is going on with the other grading companies because their numbers are so freaking low. They are just clumped together in a little pile of sadness down at the bottom. I promise you, PSA is the way to go when it comes to long-term retention of value in your sports cards and in your Pokemon cards. It's proven. I'm telling you right now, big fan of PSA. I'm not saying that I don't think it would be good if somebody else knocks them off. I would love for another one of these brands to make a big push and to become innovators and do something different and all of a sudden make PSA, run for their mommies. But I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm all in on PSA. So this right here is all 4 of the big graders, and it looks at the total cards graded for the month of December, and you can see the change month over month here. So PSA has been up at 1 million or very, very close to 1 million for 4 months in a row. I think that is their new baseline. I will tell you right now, their CEO has made it very clear. He feels like their capacity is 1.2 million a month right now, and he wants to push that. So seeing them at 1 million right now and knowing that they want to grow more, I think it's an exciting time to be involved in the PSA space. And then again, just look at everybody else. CCG is in second place, but they're 9x behind PSA. SGC's not really in the Pokemon space. They're getting really, really big into vintage sports cards. So there was a Mickey Mantle SGC 9.5, which is gem mint on their scale, 1952, which sold for $12.6 million a couple months back. $12.6 million for a piece of cardboard. So SGC, rightfully so, is getting a whole lot of good publicity in the vintage sports card space, but I don't think they're going to make any noise in the trading card space. I just don't think they want to be there, and we don't need them. I do want to take a minute to talk about Beckett. I love Beckett. When I first started collecting cards many, many moons ago, Beckett was the premium choice over PSA. But they've just fallen from grace. They've fallen so far. So some of my fondest memories as a kid is sprinting to the mailbox looking for that Beckett magazine to come in the mail every single month. Back then we didn't have internet. We relied on a magazine to come every single month, which would tell us the value of our cards. You'd have little arrows up or little arrows down, and then that was the price for the whole month. Like the only time things would change is when the new Beckett came out. You went to a sports card show, you weren't looking at recent comps, everybody had their Becketts pulled out. Beckett is a very, very special part of my collecting life and journey, and I love them, but they just have to figure out the grading space. Like, I know they have the black pristine 10s. I love those labels. I personally don't pay a premium to get them. I just don't know where Beckett's going to be in 5 or 10 years. I think PSA has a very clear path. I think I know where they'll be. I don't know where Beckett will be. I don't think they're going to go out of business, but I would just be afraid to put a ton of money into Beckett just because I've seen them digress over the last 20 years, and I don't see them doing anything to right the ship anytime soon. Don't get me wrong. I hope they do. If you love Beckett, buy Beckett. They're your cards. I want you to find happiness and joy in what you collect. Don't listen to what I say. I'm just telling you what I have been seeing from a macro level over the last 20 years and really over the last 6 months. Beckett has really struggled, but I do hope they turn it around. The trading card division of CCG is doing well. They tend to do good. This is the first month I've seen them down. SGC, they're up, but again, I think that's all coming from the sports card space. So, boo sports cards. We're out of there. We're into TCG now. But overall, it's really interesting to see these big players, and it's super interesting to be able to call out PSA's commanding lead over everybody else. So this is a really interesting one to look at too. So this is December 22 grades by category. So the 4 big guys are up there at the across the top, and then on the left in the category side you see TCG, and I want to be clear, TCG includes Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all of them. But as you'll see in future slides, Pokemon is, I don't know what percentage, but I would not be surprised if Pokemon didn't make up 80, 85, 90%, because when we look at the other slides, we're not going to see any other brand except a couple Yu-Gi-Oh mentioned. Everything is Pokemon top to bottom, so I feel like the TCG space is dominated by Pokemon. And then below that, you see baseball, basketball, football. Just amazing to see these collectibles, baseball, basketball, and football that have been doing this for, there have been collectibles out for over 100 years, right? And TCG is on top of it. Basketball, football, like these are the national sports, and TCG is on top of all 3 of those. I will say that if you combine those 3 together, they are going to be ahead of TCG, right? So TCG would be at 410,000, and those 3 ball sports put together would be at 500,000. But I just still think TCG has all the momentum right here. You'll see SGC is not grading any TCG. Beckett's got 22% of their overall graded populations coming from TCG. And then, like we said, the collecting group is doing really well in that space. So 76% of theirs is all TCG. So really, really cool information to see who's grading what, and to just see the overall strength of the TCG hobby, overall strength of the community. The fact that these numbers are rolling in month after month after month just should give you a peace of mind. It should give you a sense of fortitude. It should let you know that TCG is here. It's not going anywhere. There's a strong, robust community behind it, and we're just going to continue to grow and grow. Okay? All right. So the very next one this year, this is just TCG cards graded by month at PSA for all of 2022. So I was a little concerned when I saw this, because if you look at March 2022 all the way to October 2022, it is pretty much flat. You have this nosedive in April, but outside of that, it is really flat, anywhere from 275 all the way up to 299. It stays right around 275,000 to 300,000 cards month after month after month after month. You see a big spike in November and a big spike in December. That is caused by the $15 TGC submission special. You will see that in any of these genres. Whenever PSA feels like, hey, we want to juice it a little bit, they're going to lower the price, they're going to get a ton of submissions, and they're going to hope that the momentum continues to build. What I really want to see is January of 2023, how do we compare to January of 2022, right? And then we're going to look at Q1, because Q1 in 2022 was up and to the right. January, February, March, up, 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 up. We are going to have to see how we respond. I'm under no illusion, right? January 2023 is not going to compare to December of 2022. It's just not. But how is it going to compare to January 2022? Are we going to be up 10,000? Are we going to be up 100,000? Are we going to be up 150,000? That is going to give me a good idea of how much excitement that $15 submission special got, and if people are going to continue to submit. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at January, comparing it to December, comparing it to January 2022, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye with all of you on the Q1 trends, because we're going to be looking at this every single freaking month moving forward. All right. The next one, and I love this too. This is the most graded sets in the TCG space for PSA. So you will see, I am all in on the 1999 Pokemon game. The thing that I like to call out about this is this lumps first edition, shadowless, and the base set all together into one. So when you see 614,000 cards have been graded all time, those 3 sets are all lumped into one right there. I think this shows there is so much excitement, there is so much enthusiasm around that set. Like, you might say, oh, that's way too many cards, but compare it to the fact that there was 410,000 Pokemon cards graded last month, and 198,000 baseball, and 140,000 basketball, and 110,000 football. That means the excitement, in my mind, the momentum, all of it is 4x Pokemon game compared to all of the other sports balls. So I'm okay with that number of things submitted. I'm excited people are fired up about the 1999 Pokemon game. To me, this means that a lot of people in the community think there's a there, they think that there's money there, they think that they're collectible. So I'm happy to see it at the very top. I was not surprised to see the Black Star promo from 2022 take a huge jump, right? November to December, we had the Charizard UPC come out. A lot of people are cracking. A lot of people are getting them graded. Evolving Skies, everybody's after Evolving Skies right now, so not surprised to see that up there. I was a little surprised to see Celebrations and Pokemon Go up there. It was nice to see some Japanese cards in the mix too. I would love to see Japanese become a little more prevalent here in the States. I think that's good for the hobby. I think it's an exciting card to go after. Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin, that's a ton of cards being graded, 8,000 in December, 8,100 in December. So, people are getting these modern sets graded, which to me is a good thing. Another thing I wanted to call out is we will talk about what is on the list, and we're also going to talk about what drops off the list, right? So dropping off from November to December, the 2000 Team Rocket set dropped off, and I was really surprised to see Hidden Fates drop off. Maybe people are deciding, hey, this is a sealed product, I don't want to open it. I'm going to have to do some more digging into that, but seeing Hidden Fates drop off to me was a little bit of a head-scratching moment, but we'll see. I'm all in. I think Hidden Fates is a great set. I certainly think the 2000 Team Rocket is a great set. It could just be because the new Japanese sets came out. It could because the 2022 Black Star promos is so popular. So maybe they didn't decrease month over month. Maybe they just got bumped by a more popular set. Who knows? Either way, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll talk about it when we look at January numbers as well. Now we're going to start looking at grading activity by character, right? So no surprise, everybody knows Charizard's the king of the land. Charizard's number one. 42,000 Charizard cards graded in December of 2022, up 12% versus November. Doesn't surprise me. All those UPC cards are coming through. What I thought was really cool and what made my heart happy was seeing Pikachu with a strong gain November to December. 19% up, 29,000 graded. Freaking crush it, Pikachu. My daughter's hashtag Pikachu life. I love seeing Mew up there. Umbreon, like Blastoise, Venusaur, Zapdos took a little bit of a kick in the seat this month. They dropped down, but still really strong numbers. Familiar names rule, and I like that about the Pokemon Company. I like that we know what cards are going to do well. We're always going to have a couple surprises here and there, but I love that we have these big name characters out there that we all love and we all support so strongly. This is the first time we're going to see anything outside of Pokemon mentioned. We got 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards up there: Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Red Black Dragon. So cool to see them in the mix, but not a focus of this channel. Certainly nothing I know about. So, but still nice to see that it just goes to show you that this does represent all of the TCG community and not just Pokemon. So let's see what else is next. This is the slide I was talking about earlier in the video. This is where I am going to show you, proven by data, and again, I've done this a long time. I promise you it's true. This is the easiest way to get higher grades at PSA. First off, I want to call out, I just got done telling you how the 1999 set was the most graded set, but look at these most graded individual cards. These are all ultra modern. All of these are ultra modern. Even the one that says 2020, that's a misprint. It should say 2022. These are all ultra modern cards, which tells me that people are submitting all kinds of that 1999 set in. They're submitting all first edition, shadowless, base set. They're submitting not just one popular card, like you see these are the Charizard cards. They're submitting everything because they're a set collector and people feel like over time having that entire set graded is going to be worth a lot of value. All right, I'm getting off my 1999 set high horse. Not surprised. I was interested to see the special delivery Charizard at the very, very top. That is really cool. Like, I know that Pokemon Center was giving them out when you ordered $30 or more. So cool to see that card up there. No surprise to see those 3 UPC Charizard cards at the very top. You guys know that I think that there's a lot of there with that. You know that I think that's a really collectible set. Charizard tends to hold its value really well over time. So I'm not upset to see all of those coming through. We got a Yu-Gi-Oh sighting. Pokemon Go Radiant Charizard, all right, Japanese color right there. And then I love when you look at the celebrations, the Charizard Holo, the Blastoise Holo, the Venusaur Holo. Nice to see some variety here, and really cool to see that people are going after the celebrations a little bit. That 25th anniversary set, it just makes me feel like I told you guys in one of my videos, that is one of the 3 things I identified. I said I'm going after the celebration set, I said I'm going after the Charizard UPCs, and I said I'm going after the 1999 Pokemon sets. For me, it's nice to see all of those represented here because it makes me feel like people are interested in the things that I am as well. So, enough of me yapping. Here's what I really want to mention. Okay, look at these cards and then look at the columns. Card name is on the left. On the right, we have the all-time total graded. Then we have the December 22 graded. Then we have the growth, 1st November of 2022. And then they included the gem rate. So if you watched my video earlier where I went through the Charizard UPC, I talked about gem rate of those Charizard cards. These are the gem rates, okay, for the cards. So you'll see 18, 17, 20%. That's the gem rate in December, the gem rate in November, and the all-time gem rate. What I want you all to focus on is the gem rate in December versus the all-time gem rate. Universally, from top to bottom, the gem rate in December was lower than the all-time gem rate. Here is why, and here is the tip, and it is a proven fact. If you get your cards to PSA first, you have a higher chance of getting a PSA 10. Period. End of discussion. There is zero debate. When PSA has 50,000 PSA 10s of a card, they get really, really strict. They don't want the market to be all PSA 10s and no 9s and no 8s, because guess what? If everything's a 10, if everything's special, nothing's special. If everything's a 10, then what's the point in having a 9? Like, your 9s are going to be worthless. PSA wants there to be exclusivity. PSA wants there to be value in their top tier cards. Like, they don't want to flood the market with all 10s. So you want to be the first ones to get there because they're more inclined to give you a 10 if you were the first ones there. Here is a fact. I know and have known that me holding my Charizard cards, I have the promo packs, I'm holding them because I want to do a video for you guys, and I know that every day that goes by, my odds of getting a 10s are decreased. Not because the cards are going to be any different, not because I'm going to treat them any differently, not because they're going to be of lower quality, but simply because 10s are being cranked out of PSA every single day, and that makes them less and less inclined to assign my cards a 10. I'm happy to do it. I think it's going to be a fun exercise for all of us, but it is just a fact. So no, when you see a card and you want to get it graded, get it graded. It is absolutely a race to get your cards in first, okay? So that is my big tip. I promise you, I've been doing this a long time. I promise you it's true. It's simple. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just get your cards in if you're into grading. If you like them raw, keep them raw. There's nothing wrong with that. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I just want you to love the hobby of Pokemon collecting, trading, and investing. All right. We always do this at the very end. These are my big takeaways. So December, we're sunsetting that $15 special. Look for changes in January submissions. We are going to, when January numbers come out, I'm going to be just as excited to shoot another video, and we're going to talk about what January looks like versus January 2022 and what January looks like versus December of 2022. PSA output is back on track, okay? The backlog is essentially done. For the longest time, PSA was fighting a battle on two fronts. They were fighting new submissions and they were fighting the backlog. Everything that I've read, everything that I've heard is that backlog is essentially done. They're focused on new submissions now. As I shared earlier, they're doing about 1 million a month. They want to get to 1.2 million a month. And down here, you'll see PSA pulls levers on pricing based on demand and backlog. So if the backlog is gone, if they want to get to 1.2 million versus the million they're currently doing, don't be surprised if they drop some grading specials. Don't be surprised if they lower the price. Next point, don't submit big cards based on price. If you have to pay $20 to get a card submitted now versus paying $15 to get a card submitted in a couple months, pay the extra $5 frickin' because everybody else and their mother is doing it. Don't wait. You know, because I've shared with you and I just backed it up with data, you know that getting your cards earlier give you the better chance of getting a PSA 10. So just do it. Just send them in. If they're worth grading, do it. And again, we're going to look at this every month because a strong grading report is a solid indicator of overall market strength. I think this is really cool data. I think this gives us a whole lot of power. I think this gives us another tool in our collecting and investing and Pokemon awesomeness tool belt. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and found value in it. And if you did, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment down below. I would love to chat with you guys. The highlight of my day is when I get 15 minutes and I have comments and I get to respond to you guys. Y'all are wicked smart. You challenge me to be better. You challenge me to think differently. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have an epic night. Thank you so much.